Episode 9 is set to be a film that will introduce a total of 8 new characters in this story by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, when we look at Episode 9, that is one of the big concerns is, of course, whether or not the new characters in this film will take away a lot of screen time from characters like Kylo Ren, Rey, Luke, Leia, Lando, you name it. However, a group of characters that I personally am really looking forward to is, of course, the Knights of Ren and their interactions with Kylo Ren in this film. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren and a big secret of the Knights in this movie. Specifically, a description of the Knights of Ren kneeling down to Kylo inside of a castle structure, where it's described that one of the Knights hands Kylo Ren an artifact that was taken from the Beyond. It's described to hold many secrets of the Beyond and hold a connection to the new threat that will be introduced in the film. The artifact is described to have a hexagonal shape to it that glows in a deep red color, with metallic rims covering the top of the surface. It's said that one of the Knights recovered the artifact in the Beyond, in between the events of The Last Jedi and Episode 9. It's also said to be an object that is considered to be very dangerous if fallen into the wrong hands. It's said that in the film, one of the Knights tries to hide this from Kylo before being exposed by one of the other Knights, forcing the Knight of Ren to reveal it to Kylo. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, I'm starting to wonder, could it be that this artifact taken from the Beyond by the Knights of Ren, or by one of the Knights of Ren, could it very well be that this object is going to be the MacGuffin in Episode 9? Now, a MacGuffin, for example, is a plot device that moves the story forward for some of the characters like the heroes and the villains. A great example, of course, is in The Force Awakens, Luke Skywalker's map and the Skywalker lightsaber was indeed the MacGuffin of that story. So now going into Episode 9, there's a lot of going on in the middle of this movie that's really going to actually move the plot forward. And we also know that the MacGuffin changes as the movie, progresses from start to finish. So I'm starting to wonder exactly, what is the deal? Like, what's going on with this object that was taken from the Beyond? What is it really? What does it consist of? What's the capability of it, and why is it so dangerous if fallen into the wrong hands? And that really does raise a question now, doesn't it? Could it very well have a link to how the new threat comes into fruition, intervening and interrupting the battle between the First Order and the Resistance? So this very well may have something to do with the Acolytes of the Beyond. I find it very strange that the Acolytes are also called the Acolytes of the Beyond, and these are dark side worshippers that really did in fact look up to Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine and whatnot. So when we look at Episode 9, the Knights of Ren really are going to be a big deal in this movie. We also know that a couple of the twists and turns are actually tied to those characters, and at least one of them has a connection to the Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. So the Knights of Ren, guys, I think that they really are going to become a fan favorite when it comes to a group of characters, because we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are going to use them heavily in the promotional material. I'm talking posters, stuff that they sell in stores, merchandise, you name it. They're going to be a big highlight of Episode 9. So with that being said, this is actually said to take place inside of a castle-like structure. This is most likely the dark spire that we have been talking about for a couple of days now. Now, this is a castle that Kylo and his Knights of Ren travel to in the first and second acts of the movie. And we also know that the dark spire is also going to have some great significance to new truths about some of the ancient Sith Lords, as well as some of the other Sith, like Darth Plagueis. So, the Beyond, I think, is going to be a very interesting angle to a Star Wars movie, something that we have never seen on screen before. Again, like I say, I'm starting to believe that it's either A, the unknown regions, or B, it's going to be a different dimension of some sort, something crazy around those lines. Maybe it's something like the Worlds Between Worlds in Star Wars Rebels Season 4. Now, in my opinion, I think that this is a step in the right direction for Disney and Lucasfilm in order to really place the Knights of Ren and make them very complex characters that are trying to hold secrets from Kylo Ren and eventually getting involved with new facts about the Beyond that's going to lead Kylo Ren down a different path. We do know that this new threat in the movie is going to make Kylo Ren feel very vulnerable at a certain point in the plot, whether it's the middle or the very end of this movie, we're not quite sure. But regardless, at a certain point in this film, Kylo is going to feel vulnerable, just as he, begins his journey into becoming fully embraced with the dark side of the Force with no master controlling him. So when we look at Episode 9, guys, I gotta tell you, I'm very excited to see what's in store with the Knights of Ren, the Beyond, and exactly where it's going to bring us in the Star Wars franchise. We do know that the Beyond is going to be a backdrop for Episode 9 in order to create a, I guess you could say, foreseeable future of where the franchise is really going and a way in order to really create new movies. And that's leading me to believe that maybe the new trilogy has something to do with the Beyond. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to